Nobody wanted the 95-pound Doberman. He'd been returned to the shelter 4 times, handed back by 4 different families who took one look at his size and his intensity and decided he was too much, too dangerous, not worth the trouble. Each time, a little more of him shut down. By the 4th return, he had stopped hoping, stopped trusting, stopped being anything but a big, silent dog in the back of a kennel the staff quietly worried was out of chances. Then, a young family with a baby took one last chance on him, and 16 different people told them they were insane. And then, on a warm afternoon in their own backyard, when a rattlesnake came for their little girl, the dog nobody had wanted did the one thing that saved her life. This is the story of how the most rejected dog at the shelter became the reason a little girl is still here today. Katie and Josh Miller lived in Chino Hills, California, with their 15-month-old daughter, and they were not looking for a project. But Katie had seen the Doberman's face on the shelter's page, that 4th return listing with the words "running out of options," and she could not stop thinking about him. When they went to meet him, the big dog would not even lift his head. He'd been let down too many times to bother. But Katie sat on the floor of that kennel and did not ask anything of him. And after a long while, the Doberman slowly came over and rested his heavy head in her lap. And that was that. They named him Cash and they brought him home. The shelter staff had warned them not to expect much. 4 homes had sent this dog back, each one a fresh wound, and a dog remembers being given up on. Cash arrived braced for the 5th rejection, a big guarded animal simply waiting to be let down one more time. They had no idea that the one who would truly reach him was not either of them. Everyone in their life thought they had lost their minds. "You have a baby in the house," Katie's mother said, "and you were bringing home a Doberman that 4 separate families returned?" Her sister called it reckless. A neighbor said flat out that a dog with that many returns had something wrong with him and that they were gambling with their daughter's safety. 16 people, if you counted them all, told this couple to take that dog back before something terrible happened. I see you're still here but haven't subscribed yet. After what Cash is about to do for this little girl, you'll want to be part of it. Tap subscribe. It means more than you know. But here is what none of them understood and what changed everything. His name was not really Cash. His name, as far as that dog was concerned, was Ivy, because from the very first day, that 95-pound Doberman who had given up on people took one look at the 15-month-old wobbling across the living room and decided in an instant that she was his. The dog who would not lift his head for grown adults followed that baby from room to room like his life depended on it. The transformation was almost unbelievable. The shut-down, guarded animal that 4 families had returned came alive around Ivy. Cash let her pat his face with her sticky hands and grinned. He lay beside her high chair, catching every dropped scrap. Cash pressed himself against her crib at night and would not settle until she was asleep. A dog who had learned that humans always gave up on him had finally found one small human who never would, and it woke something in him that 4 rejections had nearly killed. You could see it happen over the weeks, a dog learning for the first time that he was safe. The flinch went out of him. The tail that had hung still started to wag. He slept deeply now, sprawled out and unguarded in a house he had finally decided was his. Katie would catch Josh in the doorway watching Cash follow Ivy around the room, shaking his head, because the shut-down animal from that kennel and the devoted, joyful dog in their living room did not seem like the same creature. But they were. A baby had done what no adult ever could, convinced a dog the whole world had thrown away that he was worth keeping. Everyone else had seen a returned, dangerous Doberman. Ivy had only ever seen her best friend. Ivy adored him right back. One of her first words was Cash, shouted with pure joy every morning. And Katie would watch her daughter reach up and bury her little hands in the loose skin of that Doberman's neck. And she knew, whatever anyone said, that she had made the right call. But outside that house, the judgment never stopped. On walks, people crossed the street when they saw the Doberman coming. The neighbor who had called him damaged still would not look at him. At the park, a woman asked Katie to her face whether it was really safe to keep a dog with a history like that around a baby. Katie just smiled and kept walking because she knew something all of them did not. She knew that the single safest place in all of Chino Hills was wherever that rejected dog had decided to lie down next to her daughter. Because Cash did not just love Ivy, he guarded her with the fierce, total devotion of an animal who had finally been given something worth protecting. Cash tracked her every movement. He put himself between her and anything new. And in a part of California where the dry hills come right up to the backyards, that instinct was about to matter more than anyone knew. It was a hot afternoon in late summer. Ivy was toddling around the backyard in the sun, chasing a ball across the patio, and Katie was a few feet away at the table, with Cash, as always, lying in the grass with his eyes on the baby. And then Cash went rigid. Katie looked up to see her dog staring at a spot near the edge of the patio, where the gravel met the rocks, and coiled there, in the heat, exactly in the path of a curious 15-month-old reaching for something new, was a rattlesnake. Ivy had already seen it. To a baby, it was just something interesting on the ground, and she was crawling straight for it, one small hand already stretched out toward the coils. The same dog that 4 families had returned as too dangerous, the same dog 16 people had begged them to get rid of, the same 95-pound Doberman everyone had sworn had something wrong with him, was already moving, faster than Katie could even get out of her chair. Cash crossed that yard in a black blur and threw his entire body into the space between Ivy and the snake, shoving the baby back with his shoulder, and put himself directly over the coiled rattlesnake in the exact instant it struck. It hit him. The snake sank its fangs into Cash instead of the baby, and the Doberman took that strike without flinching away from his post, driving the snake back, stomping and snapping until it fled into the rocks. And only then did he turn to check on Ivy, who was sitting in the grass a safe distance away, crying and completely unharmed. It had been over in seconds, so fast that Katie, only a few feet away, had not even made it out of her chair before her dog had put his body between her child and death. There was no time to think, no time to command, nothing but a dog's split-second decision to take a strike rather than let it reach the baby. And Cash made that choice without a heartbeat of hesitation. Katie reached her daughter and scooped her up, screaming for Josh. And in the same terrible moment, she saw Cash begin to stagger, the bite already swelling, the venom already working. They did the only thing they could. Josh drove like a madman to the emergency vet with Cash's head in Katie's lap. The team rushed him back for antivenom, and they told the Millers plainly what they already knew. A rattlesnake bite to a 15-month-old that size, a direct strike like the one Cash took, is very often fatal. The only reason their daughter did not take that bite was a dog who had put his own body in the way. And Katie knew, sitting in that waiting room with a certainty she will carry for the rest of her life, that if she had listened to those 16 people, if she had taken the rejected dog back like everyone told her to, there would have been nothing between her baby and that snake but open air. Instead, there had been Cash. It was a long, terrible night, but that Doberman was strong and he was stubborn, and he had a very good reason to fight his way back. Cash survived. Word spread through the neighborhood the way news like that always does. The neighbor who had called him damaged came to the door and apologized, hat in his hands. Katie's mother, who had begged her to return him, sat on the floor when Cash came home from the vet, weak and bandaged, and wept into his fur, thanking the dog she had feared for her granddaughter's life. Today, Cash is fully recovered, and he still does not leave Ivy's side, still tracks her every step, still sleeps against her bed every single night. The dog that the world keeps handing back has a scar on his shoulder now, the mark of the day he proved what he had been all along. And the 16 people who swore they should get rid of him have all gone very quiet, because here is the simple truth every one of them missed. A dog is not dangerous or damaged or worthless because other people gave up on him. What makes a dog is who he decides to protect and exactly what he is willing to do to keep them safe. Cash decided, after a lifetime of being returned, that one little girl was his, and when death came for her across a hot backyard, the dog nobody wanted took the strike meant for her without a moment of hesitation. If you are thinking about adopting a dog, especially the big ones, especially the ones who have been returned again and again and labeled too much, please do not listen to the fear. Go and meet him. The dog the world keeps handing back is so often the one with the most love left to give and the most loyalty, and he is just waiting for the one person who will finally keep him. Because Cash did not just get a home. If you ask that family, they will tell you that a baby saved a broken dog, and then that dog saved their baby right back, and that some debts between a child and a dog can never really be counted. So let me ask you honestly, would you have taken in a 95-pound Doberman that 4 families had already returned? Or would you have listened to those 16 people and let him go? Tell me in the comments. And if a dog everyone else gave up on turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to your family, say their name below so the next person hesitating knows what these dogs are really worth.